You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari. So nice to be here with all of you today. And we're going to be talking about evaluation today. You know, there's going to be times in our life when we're going to hit those crossroads where we have to evaluate, you know, are we really living our highest and best selves? Are we where we want to be in life? Are we treasuring all that life has to offer? And also, there's going to be times when people are going to evaluate you. They're going to maybe pick on you. They're going to maybe have some criticism for you. And they might also give you compliments. Even a compliment for some people can be hard to digest, let alone the criticism. So today we want to focus our attention on evaluating our lives and really making sure that when we walk out the door every day that we are living our highest purpose, that we are happy, that we are satisfied with all that life has to offer. It's not about the accolades. It's not about the awards. It's not about, you know, necessarily always getting to the top of that mountain. It's about the journey. It's about the people that you meet along the way, the lessons that you learn. Those are all the important parts of life that at the end of the day, at the end of our lives, that we look back and say, I got it. I get why I'm here. I now understand the why in my life. So stay with us as we go through the show today. You're welcome to call in. Again, the 800 number is 800-333-0001. And we'll be coming up in our next segment with Rodarius Brown, our inspirational guest. So stay tuned for that. And most of all, this show is for you. So take this time to, you know, put on that seatbelt, strap on, get motivated. This show is for you. We're going to go to the phone lines now. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. Thank you. So share with me, what's going on today?
You know, I'm about to just graduate from college, and I just wanted a couple key points about networking and, like, where do you think we should start off at once we graduate? Like, what are some key networking things we should know?
You know what? I love that question, and that fires me up, the fact that you even asked that, because I mean, I wish I could go back in time to the University of Oregon when I graduated, because it is such a point in your life where so much opportunity is ahead of you. Know that everybody that you meet every day is an opportunity to network. When you're on a plane, I know the temptation is to fall asleep or, you know, just kind of zone out and get into your own space, but you never know who the person next to you knows. You never know where they work. Same goes for, you know, when you're at a restaurant or when you're out and about, even a random stranger when you're waiting in line. Always be open to saying hi to people, finding out what they're about, because that's a way that doors can open unexpectedly. Beyond that, obviously, there's different networking groups. I think sometimes people feel like in order to be a part of a networking group, you have to be, quote, quote, a professional working for a company in a certain field. That actually isn't the case. You can actually apply or join or even just go for a free lunch or a free breakfast to check out different networking groups. And although you're a student now, what is your chosen profession? What is it that you want to do?
So I am a public relations major with a minor in business communication.
Perfect. And I love the way you said that, IMA. So right now, that is your major, but that's who you are. So right. While you're a student, when people say, what do you do? I'm in PR. That's who you are. That's what you do. So at some point, you can start taking away the student aspect. Yes, you're a student, but we're always a student. I'm still a student of life coaching. I'm still a student of speaking, all the things I do in my career. But what you are is I'm in public relations. And then when people say, well, what do you do? Well, I do press releases. I can do this. I can do that all the career. So you want to start taking off the student part and just saying, that's what I am, that's what I do. It just so happens that right now you do that within your school and perhaps internships and whatever else you have going on, but that is what you do. Lastly, I'll say that if you have an opportunity, I would contact some public relations professionals in your area, maybe people that are reputable, that you hear their name in the news or in the paper, or maybe just call a PR company and shadow someone for a day, the day in the life of what they do, or take them out for a coffee or take them out for lunch and pick their brain. You can learn so much from interviewing others as well. And that can be either in person or over the phone, whatever is easier for the professional.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to take what you just told me and go apply it at a conference that I have later today.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you. I mean, like I said, I wish I could go back in time because, some will look at themselves as being a small fish in a big pond. I like to look at life like I'm a big fish in a small pond, and there's no one like you. So whatever company you end up working for, they're hiring you because there's only one you. So go to that conference today, be yourself, be that public relations specialist that you are, and then let us know how things go.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you for calling in.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye. Love that. Love that he is taking this time to evaluate, how can I be better? How can I do better and become the professional that I want to be? That is perfect example of evaluating one's life for the greater good, for really everybody. We're going to go back to the phone lines now. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hello there.
Hi. Thank you for calling. What's going on today?
Well, I'm just trying to find a way to stay motivated when unexpected life circumstances occur, such as losing your home. Just trying to, get through the, feeling, not just feeling you kind of lost right now. What do you do? How do you move forward?
Well, let me ask you a question. First of all, I'm so sorry that you lost your house because I know a lot of times that's our safe zone. That's where we get comfortable. That's our shelter.
Right.
But at the same time, in having lost your house, you're going to go through various stages of grief, anger, sadness, frustration, confusion. What stage are you in right now? Are you angry? Are you sad?
I'm kind of like sad and, you don't feel like, the man that where I'm trying to go and things I'm trying to go, it just seems like a lot of pressure, and it's hard to focus on that because, I'm got to live in my car until I can find another place.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know what? There was a time that I lived in my car. It feels like feels like a decade or ago, but there was a time where I too had a transitional time in my life, and I remember thinking, how did I get here? How did I get here? Have you asked yourself that question?
Yeah, I did, because, I do have a company. I kind of feel like, Steve Jobs, when, things went by, he lost his company for a minute. I believe things are still going to happen, but I got to get through them now before I can get there.
Well, and let me ask you this question, because you're 100% right. Why do you think things crumbled? Why do you think you lost your home? Why do you think you are where you are today?
Well, I think I did put too much in my business. I think, I was so excited. I really believe, what I'm doing, it can help change the world. So I just knew it was going to be a no-brainer. I just think I focused too much on that. Then, I could have probably made a little bit slowed down and made better decisions, on my place. But I just went up full board out believing that everything was going to happen, right now.
You were living full out. You were like, this is it. And
yes.
you know as well as I do, right, that for all the entrepreneurs, for all the business people out there, they might try 10 things, fail at 9, and succeed at 1. You know that, right?
You're right. No, exactly.
Okay.
Because I'm still working it. I just don't get paid until we turn the corner. But, hey, if I don't take care of business now, you may not get there. So I gotta focus on right now so I can, be there when it happens.
And let me ask you a question. What is special and unique about what you do? What is your unique selling proposition?
Well, I just believe that, I know some awesome people, and I believe that when, I'm bringing the right people together to make a imprint on helping the world, helping people. I mean, that's what I want to do, but you can't do it by yourself. So I believe I have the right team. I just, get the timing right to put them all together. And, I still believe things are going to happen, but, I got to get past now. But, I just believe my talent is bringing people together for a common goal to make an impact.
And you know what? When you say that, I get it. Okay, I get it. That passion is coming through loud and clear. So when you're in your car, when you're having times at night when you can't sleep, when you're frustrated, you always want to remember that passion that you have for that statement that you just said. You have to keep that fire in your belly strong. Because when you are a pioneer, when you're a visionary like you are, you have to keep that near and dear to your heart. You have to keep that fire fueling at all times. And I promise you, if you keep that determination going, you will make it to where you want to go. And the last thing I believe it,
ma'am. I really do. And I thank you for this because, I believe it's just around the corner. I just got to, like you said, get through this. I think this is like my last test.
Well, you know what? If it is a test, you're going to win. You're going to win big because now you've learned what you did wrong, and only when we make mistakes can we move forward. So I want to thank you for calling in very much, and we'll be thinking of you and wishing you the best. But thank you so much for calling in, okay? Okay,
and thank you, too. You really helped me, to think about that. So when it hits me, I can get through it because I'm going to get through it. I just... I needed to get it out,
You will. Thank you for calling in, and everybody will be right back after this break. Thank you.
Isn't this dinner party wonderful? Jeanette and Bill did so much planning, and the house looks great.
Well, it was almost canceled. Did you hear that Bill was really sick with the flu 2 weeks ago?
No, I had no idea. I've been so busy at work. But my coworker's toddler was in the hospital with flu, too. Is Bill okay?
It was pretty serious and aggravated his asthma. Bill got sick quickly with a high fever. Fortunately, Jeanette got him to the doctor right away. The doctor said it was flu and prescribed a medication that helped him get back on his feet.
I didn't know flu was so serious until I heard Bill say he felt like he'd been hit by a truck. He missed a big meeting at work.
Well, thank goodness Jeanette had gotten her flu shot. Because, she's expecting...
What? Oh, man.
I guess that was another thing you guys didn't know either.
A message from the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi. I can't come to the phone right now because I'm abusing my children. Not just verbally, but physically. I'll get back to you.
If only child abuse was this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help at 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. We've helped millions of people help millions of children. All calls are anonymous and confidential, so call 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. Child Help. Trust your instincts. Brought to you by Child Help and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
In the world of fairy tales, Sleeping Beauty had 3 good fairies to protect her. But in our world, protecting the beauty of the forest is the responsibility of everyone.
Listen well, all of you.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans and can be prevented.
We'll all pitch in. If humans can do it, so can we.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Log on to SmokeyBear.com to find out what you can do. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles.
Evaluate. You know, when life gives us those curveballs, just like our last caller, what do? You have to stand up for yourself. You have to reclaim your life and put it back on path. And you know, those curveballs are going to come again, that you're going to off-road in life. Again, it's always going to happen. You have to be able to always believe in yourself, always be able to put yourself back on course. And today's our inspirational guest, and I'm telling you, his story is very touching, and he's only 17 today, but he's lived an amazing journey. Rob Darius Brown, I'd like to welcome him to the show. Welcome, Rob Darius.
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, good to hear your voice. Hope you're having a nice day.
Yours too.
Good. Hey, so I want to take our audience back here. And the thing is what I've learned in interviewing so many different people with amazing stories is that no one tells a story better than you. You lived it. You breathed it. You experienced it. But I'd like for you to share with our audience, obviously you're albino, you have albinism. Can you share with us what that is?
Albinism is a lack of pigmentation in the skin, hair, eyes, etc. You know, how black people have melatonin in their skin, we do not possess that. So our skin and eyes are very vulnerable to the sun and things of that manner.
And being legally blind myself, I can appreciate that.
Speaking a vision.
Got it.
What
okay. And I again, that's an experience that you've lived and you know, really had to overcome, you know, the different challenges that you've had with that over the years. But when we go back to your early childhood, one of the biggest, I would say, issues, dilemmas, challenges you went through is bullying. At what age did that start for you?
I can't really recall what age it was, but I can recall what grade things started to take a rise.
Okay, what grade was that for you?
That was second grade for me. Second grade was when things started to get very serious when it came to bullying.
And explain for our listeners, what type of bullying did you go through? What did the kids do to you? What did they say to you?
At first, it started off as verbal abuse, calling me names like cocaine, Casper, Ghost Boy, etc. And then when it spread like wildfire, you know, then it started to get physical. And then it started with the pushing, then the punching, and then the kicking, and the jumpings, and restrooms, and things of that manner.
You know, I can even hear in your voice today, like talking about that is difficult. I'm sure it was devastating, really. And so much so that at 7, you wanted to kill yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't say that lightly, because at 7 years old, one should just be playing. One should just be laughing and doing all the things one would do at 7. But what was it about that day that just pushed you over the edge?
Vulnerability. I wasn't so much angry as I was sad and depressed. It took me a minute to come to grips with it, because there were moments where I thought about it. I would put a blade to my wrist, and I wouldn't have the courage to do it. But that day, I'd had plans. I was serious. And
we've had people on our show before, and I know that many of us have thought, I'm done. I can't handle it. I'm done. And that day, you were serious. You were going to do it. Did you attempt to do it and failed, or did somebody stop you?
Someone stopped me. I attempted, and I was contained by policemen. Excuse me, and at the school. I tried this at school. I had a nervous breakdown and I panicked. I was ready. I was taking a pencil to my throat. I was ready to end it, and I was contained.
When you think back about that time, I mean, that just kind of gives me goosebumps and, makes my heart heavy to think about that again, because I know the person you are today and what a treasure you are to many. And if that had actually happened, it would have been a huge loss for so many. When you were contained, when you obviously were in a safer place, I know you and your mom are very close. And my mom is one of my best friends as well. How do you tell somebody that you're so close to what you are about to do?
I don't know. It was always kind of a fear was facing her, and I'm sure it was probably harder for her than it was so much myself, due to the fact that my mom was a single mother. She raised me and my sister by herself, and to hear that your baby boy wants to end it all, I don't even want to dare fathom what that feels like,
Well, and it's hard on both sides. I know, hard for her to hear and hard for you to say that you are pushed to such a point. And I know that it was about age 9, right, where you were actually in a physical confrontation and you were knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
What happened that day?
It's funny because that day was really a blur to me. I just remember heading to a park, and then I seen some middle school boys, and the next thing I know, I'm hit with a bat, unconscious, and I'm waking up with my nose broken. And it was startling, I was confused, afraid, and I can't even put it into words. How do you respond to something like that?
When you tell me that story, I get angry for you. I'm angry for you. How do you, at that point, were you more scared, like I can't go anywhere without being bullied, beaten, or were you angry? What were the emotions at that point?
It was at that point. It was more so anger. Because why? Why is this happening?
It's interesting. It's interesting in life, isn't it? Because you've lived it. It's interesting that we are so judged on the way we look. And, and our community here knows that I'm legally blind and I don't see people. If I had met you, I would have never known. Right. But it's unfortunate that we live in a society where we are judged. And, transitioning from that time, you went to homeschooling. You pulled yourself out of school, correct?
Yeah.
When you were homeschooled, did you feel safe? Did you feel like, gosh, I'm free, I'm safe? Or was that a natural progression for you? Or what was that transition like?
At first, it was kind of embarrassing, because you never want to feel like a coward. But it was the best thing for me because that allowed me to expand my horizons. That allowed me to expand my mental capabilities, and most importantly, that allowed me to get into music. So I say it was more of a natural progression.
And I love that because music for so many can just lift them up and is such an outlet to put our frustration, put our sadness, put our happiness. And you created an alter ego, Robert X, right? Tell me about that. How did you come up with that name?
Robert X is actually deprived a little bit from my dad's name. His name is Robert, but I was taking something. I was taking something from my original name, from Rob Darius, because Rob Darius to me was a weekend name. When I think about that name, I think about the pain and the scars. And X was derived from, many people that had bared the X before me. Malcolm X. People like DMX, even, he holds a place in hip hop that you can't even, you can't touch that. Malcolm was great. He was phenomenal when it came to speaking, and standing up for what he believed in. And so X for me, it fit. It fit right there.
It was a powerful name. We have to go to commercial break, and I could listen to you for days, but I want to pause here because your story only gets better, and it's so powerful. So everyone stay with us. We'll be right back with Rodarius Brown. We'll be back.
Hi, professional skateboarder Tony Hawk here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have the energy to skate through anything.
Nice play on words, Doc.
That's how I roll, Bugs. So whether you like to work the half pipe,
now that's catching air,
kick the soccer ball around, or dance in your room,
just move it your way.
For an hour a day.
The way you like to move, as long as you're moving.
Carve out some time every day and get active. Because it's time to do a 180 on what you think exercise is.
Because it can be whatever you want it to be. So be a player.
Be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At www.letsmove.gov. Let's hear that one more time, Doc. That's www.letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
I want to change some things.
I want the moms where I live to have childcare they can trust.
I want to make sure my little brother and his friends have a safe place to play.
I want to help more kids graduate from high school.
Help more hardworking families learn how to budget and save.
I want more of my neighbors to have access to health care.
Want to make a difference? There are so many ways you can. Help create opportunities for everyone in your community.
I want to change what I see around here.
United Way is creating real, lasting change where you live by focusing on the building blocks of a better life: education, income, and health.
I just want to see more smiles on my sidewalks.
Reach out a hand to one and influence the condition of all. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. For more, visit United Way at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Living Full Out show. We are actually continuing our interview with Rodarius Brown, and he's sharing with us about living his life as an albino and what that was like, and the bullying that he went through, and just the pain and the attempt on suicide, and all the things that come with being picked at until you get to the point where you just feel devastated. You have nothing left. But what's so great and so inspiring about Rodarius is he's a fighter. He's a survivor. And so I'd like to welcome him back. Thank you for joining us again.
Man, thank you for having me here. it's a great opportunity to just get to do this.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you have a home here anytime. So there you go. Open invitation anytime. But you were just telling us about your love for music and how that started to really open doors for you. And I want to pick up there because it's interesting that one of your role models growing up was Eminem. Now, he's not everybody's role model, but isn't it interesting how in the world of being a role model, it's not about pleasing everybody. It's about making a difference and being a voice for one person. And for Eminem, he touched you. In what way?
Eminem, I could relate to the guy. More than anything, besides what people consider him as having crude humor or things like that, Eminem was a voice of the people, voice of the people like me, people that felt alone, an outcast. And so listening to him made me feel like I had someone that I could go to. When I needed something. If my emotions were on fire, there was a song that I could play his that could light that same fire for me. If I was sad and I was depressed, there was a song that could relate to that situation.
Mm-hmm. And even though his songs are a bit on the angry side, sometimes you need to hear a song that makes you angry, get it out of your body, right?
Right.
And so obviously that propelled you to take on music more seriously for yourself. Share with us about the two hits that you have countless hits, but there's two that really took off. Share with us about those two.
Go Crazy was more of a gag than it was to be taken serious. The whole song was freestyled mostly. It was a joke. Me and my mom were messing around with the studio we had at home. And she was just like, Rob, do you want to record? And I was like, sure, why not? And it turned into a song. But Heartless means more to me because Heartless focuses some of my anger that I have and puts it right there bare for people to see. I was exposing myself so you could understand my pain. You could understand my anger and my anguish toward these situations. So I value Heartless more than
playing an instrument or writing a book. Anytime you can get those emotions out, not only is it therapeutic, but your music went on to touch others, to make a difference to others. And to me, that's really what this life is about. It's finding purpose amongst the pain. And I'm sure along your journey, you had the question, why me? Why? Why? What is your answer to why today?
I believe that everything happens for a reason. The people we meet, the things we go through, the trials and tribulations in our lives. I believe there's a reason for that. And maybe it's just faith, and maybe it's just hope. And maybe it's a little corny, but maybe I was put here, meant to go through those situations just so I can touch one kid out of 100 million. If they feel in the struggle and feel if they relate, then that's great. That's what I do it for now. In fact, that's what I've always done it for. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's not about the jewelry. It's about respect. It's about love and care. It's about touching one kid. That one kid could touch many other kids, I'm not trying to save the world, but I'm just trying to spark the mind that will.
Well, and I know that inspiring kids is your passion. Even probably more so than the music. And, one of the things that I have learned over life is that with a lot of my coaching clients and just my own life is that even when we get past something, even when we get to the other side, whatever that other side looks like, there's always going to be those triggers. And do you have triggers even still today where even though you are a celebrity, even though you've gotten to such a positive place, are there things that still creep in from time to time?
Yeah, because I'm I'm usually in the face of political things or what's going on in the world. Now, things that oppose me, if you said something about me now, I wouldn't care. If you did anything, that doesn't matter to me. It's about the people that surround me and things like that. So things that press my nerves are when things happen for no apparent reason, you know?
Mm. So you fight for others now.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, of course. And it pains me to see that there are so many teenagers, you know, dispatching so early. It bothers me, and a lot of times I just wish I could have been there.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a big statement that a lot of us say. We want to be there. We want to save people, protect people. And you do a great job of that. You know, you are, I just got to say, for 17, you are so mature and so beyond your years. And it's truly inspiring that you've gotten to this place where you can even say, I don't care what people say to me. I feel for the others. Like that's touching. That's amazing. But what happens when you can't save people? Because there's a lot of times in life where we're all going to feel passionate about something. We're all going to want to protect people. But sometimes we can't control that. What have you learned over your path here, over your journey about not being able to control a situation?
Really is it's more or less acceptance. I understand that I'm not Superman. I'm not Superman. I can't be at so many places at once, and if something bad happens, I can't fly around the earth and turn back time. You know, I can't do that. But what I have to do is accept it, pray for the forsaken soul, and continue onward in hopes that won't happen again.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, bullying is something that we hear about in the news all the time. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter if you're a child on the playground or if you're, you know, a mature adult, you know, bullying occurs. And you've gone through it. And perhaps there are people that stood up for you. I know you had a good friend. I believe his name was Cameron back in school that stood up for you and was your friend. Yeah. But what would you like to say to those people that just stand by and watch things happen, that aren't engaged? What do you say to those people?
Actually, I have a quote for that. It's a quote from Albert Einstein. I might butcher it a little bit, but the basic concept of the quote was, he said, "The world would not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who stand around and do nothing."
Mm. I get that.
So the world is in our hands. For every time that we stand around with our camera phones pointed toward the victim, that victim is losing life.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you saying? No, go ahead. What were you saying?
And with that, I don't know if it's just me, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that all I did was hold up a phone while some teenager or male or female or anything just lost their life.
Mm-hmm. And that happens all the time. You know, people are taking photos of things occurring and they're not in there. They're showing it. And so everybody listening today, that quote was great, perfectly on point. You know, living full out is about getting to where we want to be in life, following our passions, overcoming our challenges. But also when you see other people hurting, when you see a place where you could step in and stop somebody from doing something, just like that policeman stopped you from even killing yourself. You know, being that person that stands in and is the source of strength for somebody else is crucial. And again, I want to thank you, Rob Darius, for being on our show today, because you are that light. You are a mentor, a teacher to so many. And having lived, you know, with, you know, albinism and having been through bullying, and what would you like to say to people just so that they can get fired up and motivated today to go make a difference?
Do not let your past break you. Don't do it. Because if you let your past break you, then you've given in. You've shown who you truly were. You have to be strong because your future is brighter than how dark your past was. There was a quote from the Bible, and it was like, the man in the darkest places sees the brightest light.
I love that. Well, thank you so much again for being on the show today, and I'm so proud of you. I think pride is the word that comes to mind when I think of you today. So I'm grateful for you to be on the show today, and you've given us a lot to think about. Not just inspired us, but you've given us a lot to think about. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And everybody, will be coming right back, taking your calls again. Number's 800-333-0001. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we're talking about evaluating our life. And Rob Darius gave a perfect example of that. So let's continue to get motivated. He gave us a lot to think about. We'll be right back.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever, so take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Medical mistakes claim tens of thousands of lives every year. The healthcare community is working on it, but you can help. When you communicate with your doctor, when you ask more questions, you reduce your risk of suffering a medical mistake. Doctors can't answer if you don't ask. Help reduce your risk. Questions are the answer. Learn the 10 questions you must ask. Visit www.ahrq.gov. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, and the Ad Council.
I'm getting a catcher's mitt.
I'm getting ice skates. I'm getting a devastating flood.
Adults are generous. We're even giving kids global warming, but we can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution. Go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is President Barack Obama. In the story of America, the greatest chapters are moments of challenge, when we see people serving their country and one another. Volunteers who step forward into hospital corridors and church basements, along levees and fire lines. And the next chapter is yours to help write. Sign up to volunteer at usaservice.org. That's usaservice.org. Let's renew America together.
A message from Renew America Together, brought to you by the Ad Council.
A large part of living full out is to recognize when we need to evaluate our life, when we need to make changes. And that's not always easy. Sometimes we can't see what it is that we need to change. We don't know what we don't know. So if you need assistance, if you need others to support you in making those changes and evaluating what your next steps are, always know that you can reach out to us here at the show or turn to a friend or family member. Here's to you living full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Well, here we are. I can't believe it. Final segment of the show. Again, this is the Living Full Out show, and today we're talking about evaluating our lives and changes that we need to make. And that's, to me, just a really important topic, because a lot of times the coaching clients that I speak with, they get stuck. They're just stuck in a rut. They're almost paralyzed because they don't want to make changes. But the thing is to go through the fire of making a change. I say fire because it is scary, and sometimes it can make us frustrated because it doesn't go the way we planned, or it can make us sad to let go of people or times in our life. But I like to look at change as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to meet new people, and more so an opportunity to find a love. Life is about just being cozy and complacent and just having every day blend into the other. This is the game of life. It's not exactly like Monopoly or any of those other board games, but consider it like a game. You're in this life to play. You were born into this world with the opportunity to play big in life. So don't get complacent. Don't get bored. Don't feel stuck, because you have the ability to make those changes. All of our callers today were perfect examples of, hey, I want this in my life. How do I get there? Or I am so frustrated with where my life is. How do I get unstuck? Those are very real statements, very experiences that none of us can escape from, in our journey. And really, Rob Darius Brown, our last inspirational guest here, wow, what a story of surviving, determination, but more so giving. When I think about going legally blind, it still to me is I don't know, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that literally 1 week I can see something and the next week I can't. It's crazy. I was walking my dog, and I don't know what happened. I think I coughed, and all of a sudden my eyes went blurry and I couldn't see anything. And that was scary. But did I stop? Did I just sit down on the sidewalk and call my walk quits? No. I took a moment, I paused, and I kept walking. So in life, you have to keep walking. Sometimes the vision is going to be clear. You're going to see where you want to go. And sometimes you're not. Sometimes it's going to be blurry. And just like Rob Darius said, you have to have faith. You have to have faith that you will always guide yourself in the right direction. Now, yes, we're going to make mistakes. Yes, those curveballs of life are going to come at us. But trusting in yourself is huge. And to evaluate your life is part of that trust. We're going to go back to the phone lines now. Welcome to the Living Full Out show.
Hi,
hello,
welcome.
You. Hi, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, what's going on today?
Well, I've met this amazing man, and I'm excited to get into a relationship with him, but I'm also scared because I was raped a year ago, and it's hard for me to really trust. And I don't want to sabotage myself, so that's why I'm calling in.
Well, I first of all, courage is the word that comes to mind when I think of you.
Yeah.
Because to call in and to be so open about that, I'm sure in the last year you've gone through various stages of grief, frustration, sadness, anger. And the fact that you can be here 1 year later and be wanting change, to be evaluating your life so you can have that great relationship, I just want to give you a big hug through the airwaves right now. Honestly, that just
thank you.
Makes me so proud. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I'm very sorry that it's not of feeling ashamed, feeling as though, who am I? Why me? All those questions you go through. But the beauty of that situation, the beauty of that moment, again, is that 1 year later, here you are. You're a survivor. You're strong. and this new man in your life. I'm sure one of the things that makes him so attracted to you, beyond all your other amazing qualities, is that you are that source of strength, that you are courageous. What when you think about your life with him, and keep in mind the past is in the past, okay? If we concentrate on the past and we dwell back on the feelings or what has happened to us, and this goes for anybody's situation listening today, if we stay in that place, the past wins.
Yeah.
Okay? But if we look towards the future, you win. Because you can make your future whatever you want it to be. Have you been open and honest and with your current love?
Painfully, yes.
Okay. And when you've told him your story, when you've shared with him all these painful memories, what is his reaction?
He says about 1 million times a day, I will always accept you exactly as you are.
And does he tell you he loves you?
Yes.
Okay. And when you're with him, do you feel safe?
Entirely.
And all of those answers to me of my life, you're winning. Because you've gone on to find love. You still have that courage, that fire, that vigor, that compassion inside you. And one of the best things that you can do with that experience is just to continue to be vulnerable. It's beautiful that you've been able. Thing. It is hard, but it's so beautiful that you've allowed yourself to come to that place. Do you see that?
Yeah.
There's people in this world that have, quote, quote, perfect lives. Nothing happens to them. They go in, day out. Money's not a problem. They check into their job 9 to 5, no worries. They get a paycheck. They have a relationship that's, good, quote, quote, good, and that's not a bad life. However, those of us who go through painful moments, and then we have moments of beauty and bliss, like your love, that's life. I mean, you're living an extraordinary life. And all I want you to do at some point in your life is take the sadness, take the frustration, take the pain, and do good things with it. Support another person. Write a book. Write a song. Paint a picture. Do something with that, because to experience pain and then pleasure and now even safe, that's awesome. That's an amazing ride. How do you best express yourself today? Do you have any hobbies that are expressing?
I have many.
What do you like to do?
I like to write poetry. I like to dance. I like to meditate.
Let's take poetry. Have you written poetry about your painful experience?
Yeah.
And have you shared that with others?
Yes, but few.
Okay. And the few that you have, what was their reaction?
Empathy for me, pride in me, sympathy. Many people find themselves grateful for what they have, and I'm just proud that I can express what happened.
So while you and I both wish that it never happened to you, we can't erase the past. But wow, look at the difference that you have the ability to make for others. Both sharing the pain and sharing the pleasure in your writing, in your poetry, you now have the ability to go on and make a huge difference. And it takes somebody like you to have experienced that, to be able to live it, talk it, share it. So again, courage is my word for you. I think you're amazing. And just continue to be vulnerable. Continue to be transparent, because, you're in the zone. You're living your life full out in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much for calling in. I hope what I shared with you was helpful.
Yes, thank you so much. Made me very happy.
Well, I love hearing you laugh, and thank you for calling in, and I hope that you have an amazing day, and go spend some time with your honey and just start planning that future, because, again, the past is in the past, and your future is bright.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So I want to thank all of our callers who called in today. I mean, just being vulnerable, being willing to share the tough times in their life and see that there is opportunity ahead. That's what this game of life is all about. I want to thank, everybody here who puts the show together. We have Mindy and Travis, Roxana, Maya, Rich. Everybody is here to support you, motivate you in moving forward. Feel free to go to livingfullout.com/radio show to check out our show each week and hear other shows that we've done. Feel free to also email us at connect@livingfullout.com. We'd love to hear your story. Thank you, and here's to you all living your life full out.